What's up, amigos? Welcome back to the Sancha and Sancho podcast. Like always, my name is Anthony. I'm one of the hosts of the show. And to my left...
Yeah, hey, what's up, amigos? My name is Cindy.
And thank you guys for tuning in. So, like always, if you guys like anything out of this video, if you get anything out of this podcast, any kind of value, I hope you guys are hitting that like button. Share it to your friends, your family, anybody you think that can use anything that we say, or have somebody come on and say. That would be amazing. And don't forget to hit that little bell over there to get notifications every time that we drop a new podcast like this one. One of the best ways that you guys can support us is head on down to our website. That's probably one of the best ways. But another really good way is to go check out our sponsors. We're going to leave all their links down in the description below. But specifically, we were brought to you by Submission Nutrition, one of the best overnight oatmeals I've ever had. We're also brought to you by the Farm Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I probably bring it up every time we have a podcast. I'm sorry, it's my life. And then we're also brought to you by...
And we're also brought to you by Legendary Car Care.
Yeah. And then one of our newer sponsors, I feel like it goes on forever. We're also brought to you by the Barber Shop. It's time for me to get a haircut. That's actually why I'm wearing a freaking hat right now. But whatever. Let's ignore that. Yeah. One of the craziest things is at the gym, we had a guy actually have a mild stroke.
What?
Yeah, so it just kind of makes you wonder, it's pretty scary. I really don't know what to do in situations like that,
Right.
And it's kind of a weird thing because you're going to a place to it's not like you're going to the gym to work out, right? Like you go to the gym, you throw headphones on, you're like doing your own thing.
Right.
And you kind of ignore everybody, But at the gym, and you're training, you're rolling, you're sparring or whatever, it's kind of a weird thing because you're trying to hurt each other, literally. You're literally trying to hurt each other, but it's in a friendly kind of
right.
There's no malice.
I'm sure it's because you guys are trying to learn.
Right.
Trying
it's
to
kind of hard. Yeah.
Add these skills and
exactly.
Trying them out.
I just think it's crazy because you think about, because I wasn't there. I wasn't there when it happened. But when I think about it, if I was there, it would be pretty scary.
Yeah.
And then it really turns into this guy that I train with is now, a priority.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy, It just really makes you think. It's well, I really shouldn't take for granted some of the relationships that we are, coming across and encountering and starting to build with people that we don't really know that well. I feel like it's kind of easy to take a lot of those things for granted,
I know. I feel like that's the shitty thing is sometimes we don't know those skills, or we've never been in front of that situation, that if that situation ever comes across, you really don't know what to do.
Right.
Sure, it's kind of those basics, maybe putting them to the side.
Right.
But then it's what else?
Then what, right?
What I mean?
Just call 911, everybody,
Right.
Even with the bear thing, when we ran into the bears, it's kind of, you always have this idea, right? In the back of your head, you're oh, well, if somebody, if somebody passes out or if whatever, right? It's first thing is you obviously you make sure they're okay, and then you call for help, right? It's the bear thing, it's for us, it was okay, well, let's all kind of huddle together. Right. Make sure they know we're here.
It's
let's
almost
wave our arm. Right? Yeah. It's kind of you always have this idea.
You're just going with your gut, you're just kind of trusting it in a way.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah. It's just kind of a weird thing, So that's just been something that I've been thinking about a lot. So that's actually one of the reasons why I recently got my BLS certification.
I know, that is so amazing.
So let's go.
Yes. But, okay, I feel that process, though, it's kind of a process. You have to set aside some time, take these courses.
Yeah. So, yeah. Basically, I just got online and just started looking up CPR classes here in town, and there was a ton. Honestly, you can take them basically everywhere. Especially because we got Ames here. It's a pretty big community college, and UNC's basically right across the street.
Right.
But a lot of those are very specific to time, or it's a certain week of the year, and they only do it once or whatever. But I found this one in Fort Collins, and so I just called. I was hey, just wanted to see when your next open class was, and we kind of talked for a little bit, and she's what are you trying to do this for, whatever, la la la. Ended up just doing an online portion, so I did half of it online, where you basically just go through all the steps, and and it makes you do like a test at the end. You have to get 100%, whatever. So you do the online part, and then you go and do a hands-on part, which is what I went and did the other day. And you basically
kind of learn how to do it in person.
Kind of in person learn how to do it, and you're doing it on like a little robot dummy. It's kind of like a rubber. It's kind of like the bobs that you can punch
right
at the store or whatever. It's kind of like that.
I'm like, were you wanting to like?
I know, right? I was kind of manhandling a little bit. No, it is kind of weird because they have like a full size torso one for like a full size adult, and then they had like a little like an infant one. I wouldn't say baby. It was kind of like it was a big baby for sure, but it was like a smaller child.
Yeah.
And I feel like doing jits, it's kind of weird because like they had you like tilt the head and everything, and like it's a robot that's kind of meant to do it. And it tells you like if you're doing it wrong, like there's lights on it and stuff. So it's just kind of weird, you know. Like I understand like they're trying to make the robot so it's like as realistic as possible, you know. I feel like the head tilt part could have been better. I don't know if that's just like the jits in me that just kind of felt unnatural the way that the robot
like,
kind of
did
it.
This is not real.
It's because when I first did it, like I was doing it wrong. It was just like how the like I couldn't get it to tilt, but it was like you just had to literally just grab the face, and the face tilted.
Oh.
It was kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know, but it was cool. Like the compression part, like using the AED, which is kind of cool. I've never seen an AED before, so that was kind of weird. Like using one, it was kind of pressury because she was testing us.
Is that where you like shock somebody?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, it's like a defibrillator.
So you're like, clear.
No. Right.
No?
That's funny actually. The reason why they say clear is they want you to clear the body. Like you can't, because you can't touch it because it's gonna shock them. So they say clear as in like clear the body, like nobody touch the body basically, and it's like shock, and then you go right back to compressions like right away. But you don't want to be touching them.
I did not even know that.
Right?
But it makes sense though.
Right. Right. It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like common sense, but then it's like you don't really put the dots together.
One of the things that I didn't, that kind of made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know why I'm being weird about it, but it was talking about like with an adult. Yeah, right. I think I already told you, huh?
Yeah.
So like when an adult, you check their pulse in their neck, right? And then with a baby, you check it like in their bicep.
For a pulse.
And then for like a child, you're supposed to check it like on their hip. Like where their leg meets their torso. I thought that was weird.
That is very weird. I mean, you would think that it's like the same all across the board, whether it's just like, you know, on the neck or something like that. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of strange. I definitely wouldn't be like, feeling up some kid's hip if he's like passed out, you know? Like, it's just strange.
I mean, yeah.
But even here, like for me, I can feel my pulse in my bicep.
Yeah.
So what's
I mean, I'm sure, I'm sure.
But like that was a part of the
still,
test. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's just like just in case, right?
Oh, I guess, right? Giving you options?
Yeah, like giving you different options to check the pulse. If you can't feel from one spot, you have like other spots that you can kind of like
I probably should have asked about that. I feel a
Yeah.
little guilty. Yeah, I don't know. That was probably one of the only things that made me feel a little weird.
Yeah, that's freaking crazy though. I mean, like, so pretty much that kind of just like made you realize that if you were ever in that situation of just where somebody needs
CPR.
just that type of help.
Yeah.
That's what kind of encouraged you to go and pretty much get certified.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was one of the reasons. It just
That's awesome.
It's kind of just one of the things in the back of your mind. It's just like
Yeah.
Or like I think about it, and I don't know if it's because of jits, but I catch myself like daydreaming a lot. So like we'll be at the bank in line, right? I mean, how often are we in line at the bank? Never, right? But we're in line at the bank, right? And it's kind of like it's just in the back of my mind, like to be aware of my surroundings. It's not even like I have cash. You know, I could just be in there like I don't know, pulling money out.
Right.
So I'm just waiting in line. But you always have like that like cautious kind of feeling.
Yeah, like you're like checking your surroundings,
Yeah.
to see if anybody's like watching you put in your pin.
Right. When I started doing jiu-jitsu, I started catching myself like daydreaming, like I would see somebody in line and I'd be like, you know, like if something were to happen, like what would I do? I would like, this guy's pretty big, or it's like, oh, this person's like closer to my size, or it's like, I would start like breaking down scenarios in my head, and I started catching myself doing that more, and it's kind of weird. But now it's like, when stuff like that happens, and even like in the past, like when I was younger, or like stuff like when we've gone out, there's been like a couple situations where it definitely, I feel like, would have been really beneficial to just have at least a little bit of knowledge about it, so it's not so like oh my god, like what do we do, like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, it makes me feel a little bit safer,
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess it's like, I guess if anything, it's kind of getting that confidence within yourself, right? Because it's like,
That's really
you're
important.
you're feeling a little bit more confident in that situation if it ever went down.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, if we were to run into another bear, I feel like I wouldn't be as scared.
Right.
It would kind of be like more like, hey, like right away.
Yeah.
Have the gun. It's there. I'd wave my arms. I'd probably be making more noise. I'd be like, okay, you guys wave your arms. You know, like, it'd be like a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say casual. I feel like that's a wrong word to use in a situation like
But
that.
it's like, I guess if anything, it's like more planned.
Right.
It's being more confident in the situation.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
I think it's important. With
Yeah.
confidence, I feel like you can go anywhere. You
Right.
can do so many different things. I feel like you go into a job interview and you're like really nervous.
Yeah. Right.
You
It's
can
like
tell.
yeah, and see that's like the thing with like confidence. I feel like confidence is can be a weakness because it can show that you might be too confident, or it can show that you're not confident at all. And it's
Right.
like it's kind of like a weird.
And then it plays on your character.
Yeah.
And this is what they're judging you off of, so it kind of like
Yeah.
like it's really important. It's
Right.
really important. Or even with like just talking to somebody, just
Mhm.
in general. Or like I feel like we're kind of getting to an age now where talking to adults isn't like kind of like weird, you know, but I feel like there's a period of like when you're probably what, like 15 to like 21, where you're just like a young adult,
Right.
where you're 100% still treated like a child.
Yeah.
Like I still catch my parents doing that to me, where I feel like a 10-year-old, where I'm just like, what the? It's like, oh, I can open the door myself, or, you know, that's not what it is, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like this weird time where you need to have the confidence, and when you do have the confidence, the people that have it, like it shows, and it makes a really big difference. Like for example, when I worked at Spradley Bar Ford selling cars,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the youngest guy there.
Mhm.
When I was working there, I was probably what, maybe 20,
Yeah.
21,
Yeah.
maybe.
Probably.
We had a kid that was 18,
Damn.
and he was there longer than me, and he was already, I think he was doing online sales, so he didn't even have to go and get ups.
Oh, okay.
So he had already been there long enough and kind of established himself, and he was really good. And I remember he was like so confident with the customers that it was kind of strange, because like they walk in and it's like you see this kid, he would have like his hair slicked back, he was like a blonde kid, and it's obvious that he's really young.
Mm.
Like it's obvious, it's
Mhm.
very obvious he's really young, but the way that he would handle himself was perfect. And it's kind of in a dealership, and I think the vibes of like the competitiveness of like all the guys like just shooting for a paycheck, because it was really competitive there.
Mm.
I feel like it just kind of molded a good scenario, or like a really good spot for him to thrive.
Mm.
He was 18, he had a $65,000 truck.
Damn. Wow. I mean, yeah. But see, like, the thing is, how do you get to that point? Because I
Right.
feel like the process to become confident or to become comfortable in a position, or, you know, whatever it is, I feel like there's kind of like some techniques that you almost have to like consider to help you get there in
Yeah.
a way.
No, yeah, I think you're right. But I feel like it comes with either, I don't know, the first thing that I think of when I was reading, I want to say it was either Outliers or maybe Rich Dad Poor Dad or Think and Grow Rich. It's one of those.
Mhm.
And it gives this scenario where it's talking about, I think it was Outliers. I want to say it was Outliers. And it gives a scenario of two different boys. It was a study between two different families, right? And it's talking about confidence. And one family, both the families are going to the doctor. They're going to take the two little kids to the doctor, right? One family, on the way to the doctor, the mom turns around to the kid and says, hey, we're going to go to the doctor, and he's going to ask you a couple questions. about whatever. You can
Mhm.
ask him anything.
Mhm.
I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
If you want me to leave the room, I'll leave the room. I can stay if you want me to stay. Whatever, just feel confident. I want you to ask him anything, right? The other family, the mom doesn't turn around and doesn't say anything, right? So they get to the doctor. It's the same exact doctor, I don't, I can't talk. Same exact doctor, same physical, whatever. When it comes to that time, the doctor turns and he asks the first kid, this is my favorite part of the exam. This is the best part of the exam. I get to answer any question that you might have for me. So he asks the kid, do you have any questions for me?
Mhm.
And the kid's like, yeah, like I was actually thinking about it on the way over here. I have this bump on my armpit, and I'm
Mhm.
just not really sure what it is. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, thanks for letting me know. I'll take a look at it, whatever, and he goes on, right? But the kid's having a conversation
With the doctor.
with a doctor,
Right.
an adult. So he's already building this confidence at a really, really young age. So the other family, you can kind of already tell where it's going.
Mhm.
The other family, same doctor, same question. This is my favorite part of the exam. Do you have any questions for me? And the kid gets really nervous, doesn't know what to say.
And he looks
just
at his mom.
Looks at his mom and doesn't say anything, right?
See, I feel like that's something that I experienced growing up. And not that, I don't know, it's a really weird situation because it almost feels like you just don't know that you are able, I guess, to kind of like speak up for yourself and kind of really like have like a true conversation with that doctor and kind of like
Right.
let them know what is actually going on within yourself. And I don't know why automatically, well, because I actually saw this thing too where when you feel like nervous or when you feel like unsure, you always end up looking at the person that makes you feel comfortable.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know if it's like sometimes just having that like instincts like, oh, like looking right away at like
Right.
the person that makes you comfortable.
Like for assurance.
Right, for like assurance or whatever it may be. Kind of just like helps you in that situation. But I feel like it could affect you, like because you're not, speaking up for yourself. You're not being confident within yourself.
I feel like growing up, my parents would make me go do stuff like,
Mm.
and I'd be like, no, like I don't want to. And they'd be like, what? Like you're a kid. What are they gonna tell you?
Mm.
Like no, like just go, like go do it. Go say hi, or like like whatever it was. Like oh, like go put the money in the jar for the guy. And I'd be like no. I'd be like no, go put the money in the jar. Like
Right.
I feel like small things like that make a really big difference. And it's not like I think about those things. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it now,
Right,
honestly.
right.
But it's like I feel like that really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Another example in the book that I was talking about was the difference between putting your kids in sports when they're young,
Okay.
and having them involved with team sports specifically, because it teaches them how to work with people or to be around others and to like build the bond and the camaraderie, and like it also helps them with confrontation because it's building that confidence,
Yeah,
right?
I can see that for sure.
But then there's the other end of the spectrum, right, where it's like, what if your kid doesn't like sports?
Mm.
What if they really like to read?
Right.
Like there's nothing wrong with that, but it's
Yeah.
like, how do you build the confidence with them?
Yeah.
If they're big into reading, well, it's like there's book clubs. There's like
Yeah.
there's tons of different things that you can do.
Definitely. And I think that's where it kind of applies towards a lot of things, because even like, let's say for example, like you're using like the book, but like let's say for example, like even if it's like starting a business or starting, like a new sport, starting just a new like side hustle, hobby, whatever it is, like sometimes you may be non-confident going into it because like you don't know much about it.
Right.
And it can kind of hold you back from actually doing it. But, I don't know. I feel like sometimes, some of the things that I feel like I've used to kind of help me kind of better myself is I feel like doing your own research before starting something.
Yeah.
Because I feel like research, if you can really look into it,
You're just,
really
like,
determine, if that's
It's like
something
building the knowledge.
Exactly.
It's just like creating a base, right? You're just molding like a good base.
Yeah.
I feel like with anything you need to do that. That's so important.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely is like doing the research. I feel like it's one of the most important like key factors to kind of help you get to that point. But then it's also like within yourself, like actually being like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this, and like being confident within that answer.
You know that what that makes me think of?
What?
So when we were starting this podcast, and it's like, all right, let's create that Instagram.
Oh, I know, right?
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. Because now you're putting yourself out there.
Right. No followers.
Right. It's like
no
starting
pictures.
from scratch.
Yeah, we don't even have anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's weird.
It is.
It's definitely like a.
But it's almost like you have to just like embrace it. Like, because if you're not going to be the only one that's going to believe in yourself, like believe in the product or believe in that hobby of yours or that skill of yours, then nobody else is going to believe in yourself.
Yep.
Or believe in you, you know. So, yeah, it is really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like confidence is really important. So like if we think about it, right? Like what do you think you would do if and when we ever have kids? Like what would you do for them to try to build their confidence?
I feel like definitely, I mean, I don't know, I feel like definitely like putting them into like that social like scene.
I just feel like trying to get them to be like really independent.
Yeah.
You know?
And try to like figure out like how to kind of do it themselves, but
To a
being
point,
there,
right,
yeah,
right.
it's like, but being there to like guide them.
Right. That's hard, man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That freaks me out just thinking about all that.
I know. I mean, that's like a whole nother,
The hardest fucking job
you
in the
know,
world.
perspective. That's a whole nother, yeah, it's a whole, so props to all you mom and dads out there, because, you know, it's
Seriously.
definitely not easy, but you guys make it look easy.
You're right. Some of you don't. No, I'm just kidding. You know what was actually pretty crazy? We so last night we went to the Toby Keith concert.
Mm-hmm.
And
That was so much fun.
It was pretty lit.
And see, this is like one thing about us is that we're so open-minded, and you know, we try to go out and do things, even if it's like something that we don't really like, you know, do on the regular basis.
Yeah.
But that's just how we are.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I loved it, man.
Yeah.
It was
a good
close,
time.
Budweiser Event Center, so it wasn't that far, you
Yeah.
know.
And
But
it's
it was
just
crazy, like
yeah,
there was a moment there where honestly, first and foremost, let's just say this. I'm so blessed. I'm so fortunate. We are so fortunate to have the opportunities that we do and the ability to do the things that we want to do. It's just, this is a really great country. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Last night at the concert, though, was a whole nother level of enjoying
Of
this country.
pride.
Yeah, that was like,
And see, I don't know if it's like
whoa.
interesting to see, because we've actually never been to a country concert or anything like that before. I mean, that was
Not
actually
like that. I've been to ones at like the Stampede.
Okay, yeah, like the Stampede, but that's a little bit
that
more.
counts.
I know, right? I feel like it's a little bit more.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's like more like, I don't know, but last night I feel like it was just interesting to really see how, you know, people.
Well,
I don't
this
even
is
know,
how they
like,
set it
how
up,
to
right? This is how they set it up. So Toby Keith is on stage, right? And he stops everything, and he's like, "I'm gonna bring up one of my buddies. I'm gonna bring him up on stage with his family, right?" And he brings him up on stage, and it's this guy. He was a vet,
Yeah.
and he's in a wheelchair, and he's talking about, we just partnered up with this company. I don't remember the name of the company, and they create these wheelchairs that can go anywhere, and it's got like big old tread on it. It looks like a
Right.
fucking tank
Yeah.
of a wheelchair.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Mhm.
And you see the guy rolling up on stage with his family,
Yeah.
and he sets him up. They give him the wheelchair, the badass wheelchair,
Yeah.
and they keep him up there, and he sings the song about like the USA and like veterans and stuff. And
And,
it was
like-
like the craziest, like
And like the respect in the room was just like,
everybody stood up
man,
so fast. Like you
it's-
see the guy, and everybody was just like up
Yeah.
on their feet, like
Mhm.
taking their hats off, just like
cheering
yelling, like
and just like,
it was
yeah,
the craziest vibes. Like
and like it almost makes you feel, you know, kind of emotional about it, because
it does, yeah.
you know, like that person there is like just anybody in general that is like serving in the military, like they're the ones that are going out there and like fighting for our freedom to like be able to do the things that we're able to do every single day.
And what's fucked up is like that guy didn't have legs, and it's like he comes to the concert and everybody gave him a standing ovation. It was just
Mhm.
like cheering
so
him.
powerful.
It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like he's got to go home, you know, and it's
I
like
know.
he goes back to that. It's not
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah, that's his.
That's his reward. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like in a way,
it's sad.
Yeah,
it's
like,
sad.
you know what I mean? It is sad because, like, in the end of the day, like, he has that one split, couple of minutes, like, on stage where he is, getting cheered on. He's, like, full respect and
even
everything like that.
His little boy was so happy. He threw his hat into the crowd.
Yeah, that was so
I was like,
cute.
oh my god.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was so damn cool.
But then, like, it does make me sad, though, that at the end of the day, they go home and he still has to go through that every single day.
Right.
Like, whatever disability it is or whatever the case might be, or trauma, or, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it was so sad.
And
it just makes you realize,
Yeah.
But honestly, though, it makes me really happy
I know.
to see how much support
Yeah.
was in that fucking room last night.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
I know.
I took a minute to where, like, I stopped looking at the stage and I was just looking around and just seeing everybody just like...
Yeah, like, every single person. There was not one person, I'm sure, that was, like, sitting down. Like, everybody, like, full respect, like, full honor.
God, man, that makes me so happy.
Yeah. Like,
that
I
makes
feel
me
like...
just, like... It feels good to be, like, a part of, like,
a community.
Fucking... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. It was weird, but, like...
Yeah.
I'm glad I was there.
Right.
And they're all, USA, USA. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. Just, like, a lot of respect, for sure. But, I mean, like, it was just, like, interesting to see because, like, that was kind of, like, our first, like, real country concert and, like, to kind of, like, see that full dynamic, like, it's not like that everywhere else, like, with any other concerts that you go to. Like, it's all...
I've never seen them do that at a rap concert. Who knows, man? That was so much pride there last night. It was crazy.
No, for sure. Yeah, it was, like, a moment of, like, realization of just, like, our home country.
Mm-hmm.
It felt amazing.
Yeah, it was a good time, man.
Yeah, it was a really good time.
Yeah. Now we need to try to keep doing more. Today's the air show, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We should go try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Go try to check that out. So, confidence. Confidence is key.
Also, one thing that I've actually seen more of is now hiring signs.
Oh.
Coming about everywhere.
Did you hear what happened to the airline?
What happened?
Like, everybody's, like, missing, like, their flights are all delayed and everything. Everybody's saying that I guess because of the vaccine mandate, where they're saying if you're not vaccinated that you can't work, basically.
Damn.
Otherwise, get vaccinated.
Right.
I guess, like, 40% or some crazy-ass airline employees, I think it's for Spirit, they, like, walked out.
Walked out?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, what's fucking crazy is they're not putting that on the news. They're not, like, telling people it's because they, like, everybody quit.
Holy shit.
It's just kind of scary, man. It's just weird. It's just such a weird time to, like... And honestly...
And hold up, are these just like the flight attendants? Like,
no,
are these, like...
I think this is everybody. It's pilots, flight attendants, the
What?
people that are booking the ticket, like, everybody. Like, all the people who put the shit on the plane, and, like, everybody.
Dang, that is so wild.
Yeah.
That's really wild. I mean, it's a really, like, weird situation almost because I think we're just so used to not being told what to do that I think, like...
People are like, what?
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna do this or I'm not gonna do that, right?
What do you mean I have to? I don't have to do shit, yeah.
But then it's like also we do have the right to kind of have our own choice.
I saw this one thing, it was like, if women have the choice, why can't everybody?
What? Like, what?
If women have
The choice of what?
choice of, like, abortion and stuff like that, if you have the ability to make your own decision for that, why can't everybody else have the own ability to make their own decision for the vaccine? But then it's also like, well...
I know, and that's where it gets just
it's
all
a different,
fucked up
it's
because,
fucked up, yeah.
it's just...
I don't know, I'm not trying to argue either side.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, it's just a very crazy situation that we're
It's just
going
like, and here's what's crazy, and I don't know if it's because we're, like, becoming adults. It's so fucking weird
So
to say
we're
that.
actually realizing
I don't know.
the real life things that are going on in our world.
I don't know if I want to claim that title yet, but anyways, I don't know if it's because we're getting older, but I feel like when we were young, I don't know if it's just there was always crazy shit happening and we just didn't know
Right.
because I just didn't
Right, 'cause we
care
were
or
just
I just wasn't
young.
paying attention.
Right.
Or I didn't watch the news. I still don't really watch the news. But now it's like there's so much just shit happening. I don't know if it's because like we're adults and we're realizing and we're just like, holy shit, this is fucking.
Or it's like we're going to
Why is there
work
so
and they're
much crazy
like
shit?
requiring shit. Like
It's just
requiring
like-
you to do some stuff. You know?
Are adults always going through crazy stuff?
I
Like,
know,
feel
please
like I-
tell us. And we're new to this.
Is this normal for adulting? Because I think about like my grandma Katie, right? My great grandma Katie. Like
Ugh.
she went through World War II. She went
That's
through the Cold War. She
freaking
went
wild.
so many different things. Computers, telephones, like the Iraq War, 9/11. Like
Yeah.
that's a crazy ass life.
For
And it's
real.
like for us, it's like well I grew up. It's like well I guess 9/11. I don't really remember it.
Barack Obama.
Barack, Iraq, Osama.
Marijuana got legalized.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Actually, now that we're starting to list it out, that is pretty crazy.
Yes, like I feel like our generation, we have gone through actually
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Fuck.
Yeah, I feel like our generation is going
Amazon.
through a new like phase. But see, this is like all new to us because you know.
Damn, I guess I never thought about it like that.
But
It's just, is there always crazy shit happening though? Where it's like you should be scared. You know what I mean? Like, is that normal?
I have no
Is that what
idea.
it's like to be an adult?
I mean, I'm sure, right? There's always things going on. If there's like billions of people in this world, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if you guys have an answer to that, please
Let us know in the comments.
shoot me a DM. I need some help.